Welcome to Invictus Motors. Today we have got with us a Porsche Cayenne, and the topic of this video is really about what sort of a car can you get for about £17,000 in 2022. Not just any car. As a matter of fact, a good size SUV, which would be for most of us the perfect family car, or for some of us perhaps a car that they can cruise around in and do long journeys without feeling jet lagged. So for £17,000 you get a lot of car for your money. Firstly, it's Porsche badge, so you know it's going to be very well spec'd and you know it's very well put together. The first owner has thrown everything he can throw at it from money point of view, because you know somebody buying a Porsche can essentially afford to spec it, and Porsche is known as the king of optionals. In terms of optional specs, before we get into it, let's cover the engine that this has. This has the V6 six-cylinder engine, which produces 240 brake horsepower, 405 foot-pound of torque, and 0 to 60 miles per hour is possible in 7.8 seconds. These cars are absolutely brilliant in terms of its pulling capacity, in terms of the amount of torque it can produce. That's what it's all about. In terms of the kind of a drive system it has, this is the all-wheel drive system, which is obviously supported with the Tiptronic S 8-speed transmission. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, in terms of the kind of owners, because you look at it in terms of the condition it is and you're like, wow. It's got two owners from new, but Porsches do tend to come in from families or from people that are passionate about their cars, that are passionate about how they drive, how they look, and make sure that they're mechanically and aesthetically very well maintained. So in terms of the condition, it's absolutely pristine, and I'll walk you through it. It's finished in this very beautiful Porsche Carrera Umbra color, complemented with a 20-inch Cayenne Sport Design alloys. Additional spec is obviously these optional headlights. You've got the LED daytime running lights. It's got a very aggressive outline at the front. Here on the side, you actually find that this has electrically folding side door mirrors. On the inside, it's got this phenomenal beige color interior, which makes it very airy, very roomy, and looks absolutely the part. You've got the side running boards, so when you're getting into the car, you're not actually having to stretch to get up. You can actually step on this and very easily get in. Let's just continue. In terms of aesthetically, what it's like on the outside, you've obviously got the rear and the front parking sensors, and you know, LED lights at the back. It's a car that is elegant, beautiful to look at, and anything that is made or that comes from Porsche essentially has had a lot of thought and design input, both from its drivability, aesthetically, and essentially they create something that is absolutely timeless. Let's get into the inside and actually show you some of my favorite bit of spec. It's a little difficult to illustrate the fact that this has got the comfort lighting package, but the beige interior is absolutely wow. You've got the 12-way electrical seats adjustment, which works phenomenal. You've got these GTS-like seats that really hold you and hug you fantastically well. You know something is spec'd well if somebody decides to say, well, I love the Porsche brand so much that I'm going to have the crest on the headrest. You've got this beautiful leather steering wheel, the smooth leather steering wheel here. You've got the front, rear heated seats. As you can see from the buttons in the center, you'll find the sports button, and you can obviously put it in a couple of modes there. This is the automatic transmission. You've got the dual climate control system, alongside the fact you've both got the mobile Bluetooth connectivity for your music and telephone calls, and you've got the European navigation package. You've also got the auto headlights. The side door mirrors fold as well. Everything is from windows, and from a locking point of view is you can control it from here. This little detail there, this especially finding it here and on the side of the doors, this is the piano inlay look that you've got on these cars. Absolutely essential to have cruise control if you're driving on the motorway. And now onto the back, you've got the 3-seat layout here. Again, the car looks as if nobody's ever really sat into it. It looks absolutely pristine and immaculate. This is for your handrest in case there isn't a passenger in the middle, or for your drinks. Something that I actually forgot, that this has in the front passenger seat the optional airbag deactivation in case you like to have your little child at the front with you. And little details like this, very cute, very tidy. At a press of a button, this opens up, tucks back in, and in the rear you can have all the space you really need and that you really want in a car like this. Now let's put it on the road, drive it, and tell you what it likes to drive like, and is it really worth £17,000? I, of course, think so, and I think they're absolutely brilliant, because not only do they look amazing, they drive amazing, they give you phenomenal economy as well, which I'll tell you all about, and hopefully convince you to buy this from us. Sitting in a Porsche from the get-go is an absolute pleasurable thing to do, because it makes you want to look forward to your journey, and essentially, you know, one's worked hard and got themselves to a point in their life where they can treat themselves to a Porsche, whether that be an SUV, a Cayman Boxster, or a Porsche 911. Whichever way we start off with, I guess it's all really the same, because it's the same brand. It is a Porsche. The Cayennes are an absolutely phenomenal SUVs, especially anything onwards from this generation of the Porsche Cayenne, the second generation. The first generation sort of came about in the early 2000s. They were an absolute hit, and this generation sort of continues that. And the generation after this, which were produced between 2015 to 2018, hasn't massively changed from that second generation Cayenne, which is this, for instance, from 2010 to 2011. Now, we've discussed the V6, so it's 6-cylinder, 240 bhp, 405 foot-pound of torque, 0 to 62 in 7.8 seconds. You've got the 8-speed Tiptronic S transmission to complement your all-wheel drive system. In terms of combined MPG, you're looking at about 38 miles per gallon on the motorway. You're comfortably looking to do 42 to 43 miles per gallon. So essentially, it's not only a car that looks good, but it drives absolutely fantastic. You've got these beautiful buttons here to actually, should you want to manually drop down a gear, which is extremely handy if you want to be pulling off to driving away in an instance where, you know, you just want to put your foot down because you want to get away from a bit of traffic, as an example, or just leave it in the normal auto mode, which does an absolutely phenomenal job anyway. In terms of the display here, you obviously got this superb cluster of displays here in the middle, which tells you your oil temperature, your oil pressure, your speedometer, your revs meter, and you've actually got a digital gauge there as well, which you can change to showing you the map, change to showing you essentially whatever bit of information you essentially need on the vehicle, whether that be your mobile phone or your radio, essentially whatever. And on the right, you've got the engine temperature and you've got the fuel. This has a fair bit of fuel at the moment as it stands. You've got cruise control, which is brilliant, especially when you're doing long journeys. Now, essentially, in terms of a drivability, you know, I can't really illustrate this extremely well because we're in a small little village, but there are absolutely no knocks or, you know, bangs anywhere from a car that's done 73,000 miles, that is just over 10 years, well, 11 years old. Essentially, it's in absolutely mint, pristine condition, very well looked after for its age, for its mileage. Porsches are always designed with a view that they handle, corner, and drive absolutely superbly. And this in no way, form, or shape is any different to those ethos. So if you are in the market for a Cayenne, hopefully I've sold you a Cayenne, and if I haven't and you need to do a bit more research, essentially go out there, drive one, and mark my word, you will be absolutely sold on the idea of having one of these as a family car. I would, if I had kids and I essentially needed a family car, or actually a car that I need to do rather long journeys, because from a maintenance point of view, they don't require much to maintain either. It's got a 2-year, 20,000 mile servicing schedule, and as long as you keep on top of the servicing, this should give you a lot of very, very happy motoring in terms of miles. And they're absolutely fantastic from long journeys and trips, and, you know, everything works extremely well to a very, very high standard. So I thank you for your time in being part of this video with us today, and I hope to see you next time, and take care for now. Bye bye.